So Joe and I were hanging out at the shop this morning, and we were shooting some Vegas rounds, thinking about what video we're going to put out this week. And there's been this new Supra RTX that's just been taunting me from the shelf.
For 4 whole days.
For 4 whole days. We've had it for 4 whole days, and I've restrained myself from setting it up. I was just shooting my Athens, and I found out like one big problem I was having with it. The bow is not shooting 300s. I figured that's justification for trying to set this guy up and seeing how it shoots. So in reality, what I'm looking for here is, of course I'm totally joking that the bow's not shooting 300s. It's me that's not shooting, shooting well. Being, at an archery shop every day, I just like to tinker. I got a new bow and I want to try out the new bow. I want to set it up. I want to see if it solves a couple of things because I love that Athens. The Athens shoots really great. It is far more than capable of shooting 300 rounds. I am the only one. I am what's holding it back. So I just want to see it shoot, see if I like the shooting experience more than anything. So Joe and I shot, and you'll see we shot a 300 round already. Or no, it was a 450 round. And it went well. I would say all of our mistakes were us, and we're both shooting that peak 38. So at the end of the day, I can't complain about that one at all. I just kind of want to tinker with this one. We're going to shoot another 450 round. We will compare the scores, however, like with the thing that we're most, well, at least me, since I'm switching bows, the thing that I most care about is actually the shooting experience in itself. So I'm going to finish setting this guy up, and then we will see you back on the range. Kind of a different style video that we have for you today. Just wanted to take this time as we're going through our 450 rounds to just kind of talk about indoor archery and the way, a couple of ways to look at it. So one of the ways to look at it, is it could be for competitive reasons as far as just scoring, placing in leagues, different kinds of things like that, where your main goal is to get higher points than the guys next to you and the guys around you to win money, bragging rights, whatever. And a lot of times you're going to see people with the bows that, like Joe and I have here, which is going to be a much longer bow with long stabilizers, magnified scopes, pretty much no limits on your bow. Also in this category, you'll find people with shorter stabilizers. Basically, they're going to have a bow that is designed to shoot at 20 yards, regardless of what class they're shooting in. It could be a compound bow with long stabilizers, short stabilizers, or it could even be different types of recurves, Olympic recurve or bare bow. Within their classes, they are going to have their setup dialed in to be most advantageous for poking holes in paper at 20 yards, and almost everybody is going to be shooting larger diameter arrows, with the exception, I would say, of a lot of recurve shooters that I see. So that could be one reason for more of a competitive side. Another reason that I see is people come in that are hunters looking to improve their form. So what target archery does is it gives you a chance to look at your form almost like you're looking at it under a microscope, because you get to extrapolate your shot over many different instances and just collect a lot of data, and you can see frequent misses or just results based on where your arrows are impacting, just different things like that, where you can magnify your shot over an amount of arrows that you don't typically see as a hunter. So a lot of hunters will use this as an experience to break down their shot on level ground. A lot of times when you're hunting, you're sighting in outside, whatever you're doing outside, it's a lot lower quantity of arrows, and the demand for a good shot, I would say, is a lot less intense, just being that most of the time as a hunter, you're aiming at a pie plate. And I'm not saying, if you can shoot a pie plate at 20 yards, just barely go hunt at 20 yards, but I'm saying that if you do make a marginal shot in the woods, it's not going to penalize you as much as making a marginal shot in target archery as far as effectiveness of the shot. So if you're taking a shot at a deer at 20 yards and you're off by 3 inches, good chance you're still going to be in the vitals. If you're off by 3 inches indoors, wow, that was a bad shot. So that's what I mean by more demanding as far as where your arrows end up.
And then on top of just hunters, I just use that example because that's what we see a lot of. But it's just a great chance for anybody to break down their shot step by step and just really burn it into your subconscious just by over and over and over, repetition, repetition. Practice makes perfect, and just practicing that same shot over and over. Another reason that I see some people shooting leagues, and this is, I would say, commonly overlooked, is that this is a fun thing to do. This is and people would definitely argue with me. I would definitely argue with me on this aspect of it, whether or not that's true, but it is a fun thing. It is a leisurely activity. If you try, don't get so crazy caught up in scores and messing with this gear, messing with that gear. If you know why you're in it, I see so many people who have low scores who are having a ball. They like coming into the shop. They love fellowship. They love just, maybe it is messing with their gear that they like to do. If that's the case, go ahead and mess with your gear. Not everybody is in this to shoot perfect scores, and I will say that that's not my goal. I want to see constant improvement in myself. I want to see customers that always come around this time of year, and I want to have a good time with it. So I think that is a very good thing about target archery, and I see a lot of people get themselves very stressed out when the reality is that most of us aren't going to the shoot off at Lancaster. Most of us are not going to the shoot off at Vegas. Archery is a fun hobby that you can take with you for the rest of your life. And leagues is something that we're fortunate to be able to do during the wintertime. So this is a little bit of what me and Joe do to prepare for this.
Okay, so that just finished up with our, just like our previous videos, we're not going to hide anything. Like this was...
Oh no, I would actually like to hide myself like in a cave way away from humans.
We ended up finishing 2 450 rounds with a steak salad halftime.
Yeah, I'm taking the smarter approach, like working on myself, working on my bow, whereas Luke's like, it's got to be the bow because I'm a perfect human, and I'm just going to get another bow off the rack and shoot that because that'll be better.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, he might be right, actually.
So I shot... Let's see. I shot the Peak 38 for the first round. Here, let me get this camera up here because it's kind of hard to see. Okay, so first round, you can tell. So the Peak 38, the big issue that I have with it is going to be just the let-off situation where I can't get quite as much. And then when I do get let off, or when I do get, or sorry, not
as much holding weight.
Not as much holding weight. I want a lot more holding weight than it offers. And not a lot more, like 3-4 pounds more would be awesome. You can tell because like I'll be grouping pretty solid, and then I'll just throw some wild ones out there. And then, this is just, I'm not sure what's, just a little bit of spray going on here. And then this stuff happens when I have no holding weight right there. Just like a wild shot where I'm pretty sure I'm not even looking at the target anymore. I'm just thinking about something else. And then this is a pretty good example of what happens when I have more holding weight. So this center is pretty well peppered out, but then, oh my gosh, I just got fatigued. So like I started spreading it, which ended me up with an exact same score actually. I got 442 and 22x for both games. They felt completely different. Both bows felt completely different. I can tell you that Supra RTX is a very aggressive bow. That thing shoots aggressive. I mean, it kicks like a mule into your hand whenever you fire it. It's got a lot more holding weight on it, and I know it's the bow because somebody else that has this bow is experiencing the same thing. The modules have a ting to it where just the distance of the cable stop to the closest mod screw is so far that it's able to wiggle a little bit, and it just goes tink, tink. So it's a very aggressive shooting experience. However, I like it more. I was able to add more weight to my stabilizers, and that really steadied my hold. But I could tell I fatigued a lot easier. So
we've seen the comments, right? Everybody knows I have horrible target panic. I punch the trigger like it's my job, and I am not Tim Gillingham. I do not do it well. So I've been working on it, right? So with this whole thing where Luke was going to do another bow, I figured I would play with weights. I would really work on not so much worrying about where I was hitting, but executing a good shot, not punching the hinge, which I don't understand how my brain does it, but it, like, I will sweep the heck out of a hinge as soon as it hits the X. It is what it is, right? So I made it through. We started with the Peak 38. This is, you know, I kind of average somewhere in like the mid 440s. You know, it is what it is. I added a whole ton of holding weight or stabilizer weight. I actually bolted on an extra 12 ounces, you know, because it was a round number. And then like halfway through, I took it off because I was like, oh my God, I can't hold my bow up anymore. But like, you know, I was happy. First game, I did not punch the release once. I'm doing the whole Joel Turner thing. Like, if I start to get a little antsy, I get my whole mantra going, but you know, it is what it is. I did not do it. We got to the second game, and I think I just got tired. About 3/4 of the way through the second round, I punched the hinge and I threw one of my arrows into an 8, switched to a stand element, a resistance release, shot an end that way. Actually shot 2 ends that way, and then it's like, okay, I feel better. Go back to the mantra, go back to the hinge, finished out the game solid. So I'm happy. I mean, obviously not happy with the score, but you know, that's why I'm not going to Lancaster. I'm not going to Vegas. I'm just shooting Wednesday night Vegas leagues. So, and at the end of the day, I think the issue is definitely like between my ears here. So I'm going to continue to work on that and resist the urge to buy a new bow for at least another week or 2.
At least until I get rid of this one that
Yeah.
I had. So that is a great point. If you are somebody that's struggling with target panic, this is coming from somebody who had it for 15 years. And last year, I actually gave up the leagues like midway through. I'm pretty sure the last shot I fired in last year's Vegas league was 2.5 feet below the target. So if you are struggling with it, literally just, you know, and there's a ton of videos out there. Everybody that's gone past target panic will tell you it is nothing but just work. Like,
yeah.
That's the only way to do it. You got to be disciplined. You got to be mentally disciplined. You got to work at it. But don't get caught up in the Vegas games, in the 5-spot games. The trick is to get you to over aim. That's why it's competitive. Because like in anybody's backyard, I mean, this is a really poor shooting day for both of us. But like, archery's easy when there's no pressure.
Yeah, if there's not a camera, I can tell you whatever I want to.
Pretty much.
I shoot 12s all day.
12 Vegas 12s, baby. Yeah. So yeah, keep that in mind that if you are practicing, even if you're shooting in an actual competition, shoot like it doesn't matter where you're scoring. Like just shoot to like make sure that you're focused and you're executing your shot way more than you are trying to aim that bow. And if you go through some Vegas rounds, it's not the end of the world where your scores drop. Even if you're in a scoring league, if you're practicing, the game is trying to get in your head, trying to make it seem like, oh my gosh, you can't screw up this shot. Oh my gosh, you can't screw up this shot.
Focus on your shot and the points will come.
Yeah. George Riles had a fantastic video on this. If you watch his ATA seminar on, I think it's called Bulletproofing Your Shot. Mm-hmm. This is the video to watch if you have target panic. I know a couple other guys have put some stuff out there. I really haven't watched them, but George Riles, that dude knows his stuff. He perfectly breaks down like what your mind is going through when you're struggling with target panic. So that's a great video to watch. If I remember, I will link it in the description.
Yep.
If.
Probably not.
Or probably
You're
won't.
gonna have to Google it.
Yeah.
So more of the story: either work hard, work on yourself, execute good shots, or buy a new bow. Either way works.
Yeah, apparently. And change your score not at all.
Yeah. Apparently, you proved that you cannot buy points.
All right, well, thank you guys for watching kind of a different video today. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Reach out to us if you got any questions. Check out our shop at ohiopremierarchery.com. Otherwise, have a great day. Thanks for watching.
Yep, thanks.